called Pun Piso here. I'm going to talk today about tolerance and intolerance, how intolerance happens. We created God and we create belief and thoughts with our brains. We have nothing more than evolved mutated primates. In other words, apes that think. Intolerance. 5,000 years ago, the Egyptians created religion as we see it today. The concept of life after death, resurrected saviors, everything. Absolutely. Everything is in the book of the dead. Anybody can go and read it. That's why all the concepts come. Salvation, blood, and the whole works. Resurrecting zombies, all that is in there. Then the Roman Empire, later on, copied from the Greeks. They were very, very intellectual. A lot of them were the Epicureans, which are, atheists. They were brilliant. And Julius Caesar was an Epicurean, all this family, the upper class and priest and all that, despite being priests, but they were. Well, in Egypt, it was very tolerant. There was no discrimination about color and all that. No, none. Color of the skin mean nothing. And the way people look. No, all religions were many gods, and people believe in all this God, which makes it make the society richer in belief. And it was fantastic. Then, of course, we know in about 1350s, the reign of Akhenaten, Amenophis the fourth, and he decided that he was going to worship the sun. And he eliminated all the rest of the priest of Amun and all the other gods. He created a mess. He was a heretic pharaoh. And he created what? Intolerance. He is the creator of intolerance. Well, his reign didn't last too long. And he was deposed, and all the people started worshipping the different gods again. And his son is the Tutankhamun. It used to be Tutankhaten and Tutankhamun. So anyway, he restored everything else. Well, that was in Egypt. Roman Empire, we have the Julius Caesar. All the religious empire was great. The Roman Empire, tolerance all over the place, until the Christians came around. From the cult of Divus Julius, of the god and savior Julius Caesar. And that began intolerance, worshipping one God, a resurrected zombie. That's when the whole thing started. That's when the problems started. Intellectual stagnation.
I'm standing right at the Forum. This was the heart of ancient Rome. This is the place where the tourists flock, because this was it. This was downtown. The Senate building, all the great structures, the big business, the power game was right here, the heart.
And it was right here, in 70 CE, that the Roman Emperor Vespasian decided to send his many legions into Jerusalem. The city had been occupied by Rome for some 70-odd years, and now the Jews had revolted, and so Rome sacked the city. They burgled the many riches from Jerusalem's temple,
The Jews were the merchants of the empire, the life of all, since Egyptian times. They used to be called the boats people. But nevertheless, they were the life of the Roman Empire, and they loved Julius Caesar. And they were merchants. They were not believers in things. The people are too intelligent to believe in nonsense, in these gods, like they do today. That's the reason the Jews are the most intelligent people around, envied by everyone, and greatest merchants. And
the first Jews came here voluntarily, long before the Roman conquest of Judea. They came in 161 BCE during the Maccabean era. The book of Maccabees tells us that they came as envoys to negotiate protection from the
Roman Empire, the greatest empire ever, was extremely tolerant. It was vast, religious all over the place. Of course, worship many gods and make it very, very tolerant. The most important god, of course, was the sacrifice Julius Caesar, the Lord and Savior, the forgiver of sins and everything, which the Jews loved. And they declared, the Jews said, he's the Messiah, he's the son of David and everything. But temples were built all over the place to his name, even in Jerusalem, right in Mount Moriah today. the temple that you see today is a temple to Jupiter and Julius Caesar, the Typus Julius. A lot of tolerance. Then came the 4th century. Christianity brought the Dark Ages and periods of intellectual stagnation. But the fact is, all religions are created with the brain. All, as you can see this in this Hindu religion, they have many, many gods and very tolerant. And look at this.
Cow pats on their pristine floor. The cow has played her part, and the new homeowners are assured of a prosperous life in their new house. The second part of the ceremony also involves dung, but this time I've heard rumours that I'm going to be expected to drink some. I'm not sure how I feel about this, and I certainly don't want to offend my hosts, but drinking poop. The priest is preparing the panchagavya, or 5 gifts. This is a mixture of all the substances the cow provides for these people. That's curd or yogurt.
The star guest has performed impeccably, because that's a really fortuitous sign that the cow has immediately done a bit of dung on the floor of the house, and that means the house is blessed. So well done. Well done you. Well done. Well done you.
The holy excreta, bovine excreta, is nicer and more productive than the blood of a tortured man that says with blood. Disgusting. Bad example for kids. All this torture and pain and suffering. These people are having a good time with the cow, with the bovine, which is great. They appreciate it. They don't eat it. They don't torture it. They just worship it, which is better. There are thousands of religious beliefs. That's reason of tolerance. But then you have the christ-psychotic retards going to places that don't belong, try to impose their delusion onto others. That is disgusting. And this is the problem. This is what creates intolerance. Missionaries are the worst. They are the cause of all the problems in the world. We are the true gods. It's all in here. You'll see some amazing examples what we can do and we can create because we are God, the true God. With our brain, we create everything.
According to plan, in approximately 21 days, a new form of animal will be born. The creation of new animals and the tinkering with their genes is not the ultimate goal of genetic engineering. It's just the beginning.
Genetic engineering of our own species would happen sooner or later. So I think the question is not if, but when. So resistance is futile.
That's right, Christians.
But
It's happening in China, more advanced in the United States. Then we have, here in the United States, we have these retards believing in all this nonsense. Typical.
December 4th election.
Look at the retards.
A lot of us are doing
Come on,
this,
people.
trying to learn from the mistakes of the generation that's gone before us and go, well, we're not going to endorse
You belong in a mental
party.
institution, retard. That's where you belong in. That's where you belong in. Our genes dictate the health of our brain. And the brain is amazing. Look at what's happening to this man, a blind painter. And there's all kind of examples like that all over.
A genetic mutation that caused him to be born without eyes. This seeming defect has given him the most remarkable power. While he paints a landscape he cannot see, this artist is changing everything science has assumed about vision. The astounding thing about Esraf's paintings is his use of color, shadow, and composition.
Amazing.
And most importantly, perspective.
We thought was locked in the visual brain and was only possible if you had visual input.
And it is the way Esraf grapples with three-dimensional space that has these scientists particularly excited.
We have people born with a genetic mutation. Despite the education that they receive, they are unable to tell fantasies from reality and suffer from this schizotypal type of delusion, accepting a compendium of fairy tales like this as a truth. It is very sad. Help the retards in imaginary zombie Jesus and place them in a mental health clinics. It'll be a great thing to do for them and for us.